Damn, we're live. What's up, Caleb?
Hey, what's up?
Let me mute you for a second. Yeah, you got a nice hiss. Yeah, we got to figure out. We sponsors. We need a new computer for our Air Force compatriot. Compatriot? I don't even know what that word means. Caleb Beaver. I guess first we better maintain the ones we have. Barbelljobs.com. You need a job? Do I need a job? You need a job. Barbell Jobs. You hear it, Caleb? That shh. Listen, watch. Silence. Can you tell the difference, Caleb? Can you tell the difference, Caleb, between this and that?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
I'm going to try to play with the settings on my desktop real quick.
Okay. I'm just going to mute you. If you want to talk, just say something. I mean, unmute yourself. Oh, my goodness. I am a little bit slow today. Not in a bad way. Just sometimes you slow down. You just slow down. I think Sousa is going to be joining us today. What do you say about Joe Rogan? When the event first went down, I had an immediate reaction, and I told Sousa about it. And then, and the irony was, I don't know the irony, but the timing was so perfect because I had just explained, I think the day before, how the mechanism of racism works in the human brain and how it stays alive. Using the example of the angry white man thing from the memes guy. You guys remember that? And I've done that many, many times. Hopefully, hoping to take it to a deeper level so people can see what keeps this thing alive. And I want to show you some other examples today of ways that things are kept alive. So I'll start with just a super duper easy one. So you're in the 8th grade and you're a really cute kid and tons of people dig you and like you. And then one day you wake up and your nose is huge. And kids start making fun of you and telling you your nose is big, and it hurts. And it hurts because they say something and it goes inside of me, and it's causing friction with something inside of me. There's something inside of me that already I have a predisposition already to not want to be called with someone who has a big nose. Who knows why? It's unattractive, and my goal is to be attractive. I'm an 8th grader and I don't want attention, and it's giving me attention. Whatever the reason, someone says something to you, it goes inside of you. It causes friction with something. I think today the word they use is your identity. Causes friction with your identity, which is your imagination, by the way. 100% your imagination, complete fiction. And it hits it and it causes discomfort. Now, there's 2 ways to address that when someone says something to upset you. You could kill everyone on the planet that says those things. Just start the mission, right? Anyone who thinks that this nose is big must be eliminated, and I start down the process of reducing the planet down to just people who either lie to me and tell me that this nose isn't big, or people who are blind. Or only surround myself with people with noses bigger than this one, because we all know it's relativity. Big's just based on small. Or I could go inside of myself, and whatever they are saying that goes inside of me, what's rubbing inside of me, that friction, that piece of identity of me, I can let it go. I can let it go. So there's 2 responses we're seeing to what Joe Rogan said. The vast, vast majority of them are responding to him that keeps whatever he did that bothered you alive forever. You have an opportunity, if whatever he said that bothered you, to go inside of yourself and let it go now, or you can lash out, and I guarantee you it will happen again. No one ever stopped. No one ever, the nose jokes never stop. The hairy Armenian jokes never stop.
The beaver jokes never stop.
The sea beaver jokes never stop. Eventually, something happened to me with a lot of work that when people say those things to me, they just go in now. And they kind of, there's almost like this thing, it's reminiscent of the sun. And when people say things, it just goes in there and it just gets burned. It's almost like fuel for me. Anything anyone says is like fuel for me. I'm like a fucking alchemist in there. I'm enlightened. You cannot defend me. And then someone says all Armenian girls are ugly and the whole fucking thing starts over again. I hate you and I'm not enlightened anymore and I have to deal with that. And it's a mean, wicked circle. And that's what it means to be a human being. There is no fixing. You must do equal work on the inside as on the outside. You must do more work on the inside. We live in a world where most people want to do the work on the outside, and that's why you're not happy, and that's why you're not having fun. It's a vicious circle, guys. There's no end to it. Now, here's the next level. And most people do not want to think this deeply. It's just knee-jerk reaction. That offended me. How dare they? Get them the fuck out of here. Blah, 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 blah. It's a never-ending cycle. You'll never not be offended. And so you must always continue to work on yourself. Now, here's the thing. When you get offended, you have an opportunity. When you fall down, you have an opportunity to stand back up. If you don't take that opportunity, let's say someone says to me, hey, Sevon, I'm really sorry that I hurt your feelings when I said that. And then I accept that apology, right? But I accept it not to accept them, but to heal my wound. All I've done is set myself up again to be hurt again. Do you get that? It's like a mousetrap. You put your finger in it and it cracks. And instead of like just pulling your finger out and throwing it away, you reset it. Like, stop resetting the trap for yourself. Especially if you're an adult. I mean, it's a tough ride on the way up. It's a tough ride on the way up. Right, Sea Beaver? It's a tough ride on the way up.
Sure is. Can you hear that? Is that better? Worse?
It is better.
Cool.
And you got a little bit of that like hollowy, janky sound that Souza has to his mic. I like that. Makes me feel like he's here.
In spirit. I had there was somebody today just like scrolling through one of my social media feeds, and somebody shared their thoughts about the Joe Rogan thing, and they just said, hey, I've been following Joe Rogan for a really long time, and like, he says a lot of good stuff. He's very educational, if you will, I guess, if you want to call it
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
He just has like a broad idea, like knowledge set, essentially.
Yes.
And so he was like, I understand, like, it sucks that he said those things, kind of thing, and but you can't like throw away the baby with the bathwater, kind of thing.
Of course not. Sorry, go ahead.
And so this other person commented, and they said that it's a non-negotiable. They said it's all or none. They said just because this person, like, as soon as I found out that Joe Rogan said this, everything's out. I don't care what he says now. Like, and it's crazy. Like, you're negating every good conversation that was ever had.
When you do that, stand by, caller. Stand by. When you do that too, like, that's the option. That's the option to kill. So now you want to kill everyone on the planet who thinks I have a big nose.
Right. And understand,
like, because Joe Rogan's just like, first of all, if you haven't heard the Joe Rogan, when I first heard what Joe Rogan was in trouble for, I thought it was a fucking joke. Say whatever word you want. Fuck off. But then I went and listened to it, and that's not the bad part. That's not the bad part. That's nothing. If you're hung up on that, that's nothing. You got to go listen to it. He said something that he makes a joke, and it's not funny, but it's an attempt to be funny. And
maybe he's a comedian. He's got to practice his bits, basically.
And it's not cool. I don't think it's cool. And if I told that joke and it came back to haunt me, I would say sorry for that too. What's hard for me? Okay, go ahead, caller.
Hey, just want to make sure first. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Oh, I don't like that.
No. Is the connection bad or?
No.
No, you said you didn't like that. What are you referring to? Is it?
Oh, no. I just the way you said it, you're loud and clear, like you're getting ready to say something crazy.
Oh, no. I'm not a prank caller. In fact, just so you know, I'm legit. I'm actually in your chat room. You can verify it. I'm the guy with the username Michael Jordan fans are the worst NBA fans. That's me right there in the chat room.
Put your social security number in there. Let me cross-check you, please.
I stopped doing that a long time ago when I started getting Walmart sales calls. People telling me I won a gift card for $100 every day. But anyway.
By the way, you sound smart. You kind of sound like Chris Cooper. You sound smart. I mean, I know you're not Chris Cooper, but you sound smart.
I thought I tried to bet. For what it's worth, I got a page myself, but don't worry, I won't do a shameless plug. It's all good. Before I tell you why I called, I first want to tell you Armenian girls are beautiful. I've never met any man that thought otherwise. Whoever is telling you they're not, they're either weirdos or liars or jerks or something.
I made that up because it's so absurd. And yes, if you go to Armenia, you will have your brain exploded. It's crazy.
Yeah, Armenian girls, like most girls on this planet, are beautiful. Like what country in this world does not have beautiful girls? Any guy that tells you, "Oh, these girls are not beautiful," is either lying or they're a jerk or they're dumb or something. You know, I'm not saying it's always like that 100%, but for the most part, if anyone does that, it's one of those things. Not all, but some people.
I agree.
Anyway, all right. Okay, so yeah. So
are you Canadian?
I'm from America. If you want to know my background, I'm from India. I'm Indian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So when I came to your program here, I didn't know how this worked. I was asking in the chat room, do you guys take pretty much all topics? One person wrote to me that it's never really on one topic. So since I'm on, I was asking you, do you take pretty much all topics or how does it work?
Yeah. So basically I was an executive at CrossFit Inc. And now I'm trying to leverage this CrossFit group of people to launch myself out of the CrossFit space. Like I'm asking the community. I still play with the CrossFitters. I nurture the community, the athletes, the affiliates, the everyday Joe Schmoes who are take personal responsibility and personal accountability. But really, what I'd like to do, really what I'm doing is I'm just using that and my blue check mark to get out of the space. I'd be surprised if we stay on one topic for more than 30 seconds. James Hobart II.
Okay, so I'm taking from all that you're pretty much open all the time.
Yes.
Okay, great. I got 4 topics for you. If you don't like any of them, no hard feelings.
Is circumcision one of them?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
If you want to know, I'm not into that at all.
Okay. So, you're not circumcised, is what you're saying.
I don't know why you want to know that.
I thought you said I thought you offered that up. I thought you said I'm not circumcised. No. Oh, okay.
Are you into the Armenian girls or Armenian guys? Just to make sure. No, I'm playing.
I'm into whatever.
All right. So yeah, I got 4 topics for you. If you don't like any of them, no hard feelings. But I'm going to throw out 4 topics. Tell me if you like any of them. The first one is kind of a light one. I don't think you'll pick it. But I'll just put it out there just start things off. Michael Jordan fans are the worst NBA fans. Then topic number 2. As an independent, I've never voted for any political party, never donated to any political party. I don't take sides, none of that. But I've come to the conclusion over time, in general, Republicans are worse than Democrats. Topic number 3, have you ever considered the details? I'm sure you have a general idea, but have you ever considered the details that when you buy ice cream, cheese, meat, or pretty much anything that comes from an animal, you're literally giving your money to an industry that is torturing and killing animals? And the last and final topic, when a guy turns 18 years old, do you know any religion or anywhere in science that basically explains that once a guy turns 18, now he has to stop being attracted to girls under 18 then? Those are my topics.
Oh man, that last one really is the last one I want to touch.
That's one of my favorites as well.
No, I said I don't want to touch.
Oh, don't want to touch. Well, that's one of my favorites as well.
Oh, darn it. No, but I don't think you can say as well. I think you can say that's one. I say that I don't want to touch that topic, and you go, that's one of my favorites. Not as well.
Hey, no, I'm trying to make a funny joke. But if you don't want to touch it, it's your show. I respect that. But I just want to point out there's nothing wrong with that topic.
I want to talk about why. I want to talk about the Republicans Democrat one. So you are. How do you make your choices then on who to vote for? Is it morals? Who will stand up for our liberty? Who has the nicest hair? What is your defining aspect?
Yeah, no, obviously you'd have to go case by case. I never like to put in labels like most people. You get a general idea of what the person is about, and then of course if you're going to vote, which I proudly have never voted, and I will never vote in this stupid electoral college. But if you're going to vote, you go for the person that you think either gives you what you want or is the best of the choices available. But just give you an idea of where I'm coming from, so I can show you that I'm very consistent. I have no problem with Bernie Sanders. I have no problem with Dr. Ron Paul. I'm trying to be open about things. I believe people should be consistent. So whoever you like, be consistent. And that's one of the reasons why I've concluded Republicans in general are worse than Democrats, because they're not as consistent.
Here's the part that I'm tripping on. You ready? You're saying the part that I get stuck on, not tripping on. You say that people should vote for whatever they want. So let me give you an example of my concern. So when I listen to all of the responses that people are giving to Joe Rogan, they are all extremely shallow to me. I just listened to Jocko Willink. It's not a dig at him at all. It's just an extremely shallow. It's so we're just dealing with dogs. There's no one doing introspection. There's no one processing bigger picture implications, precedents, things like that. I'll give you an example. So I am 100%. I suspect I'm 100% against abortion. That is what I want. I want an abortion-free world. I don't want.
Okay, so you're pro-life.
100% not.
Okay.
That's the problem. Do you see? I'm 100% not pro-life. That is because I am not a dog. I'm a man of great depth who can think.
I'm sure there's some sarcasm here, but I can't figure out where is seriousness, where is sarcasm.
No sarcasm. Right now. I appreciate it. I can't either, and neither can my. I love it. Dick Butter called you a dipshit. Some guy named Dick Butter called you a dipshit. That's amazing.
You mean the chat room is against the caller? No way.
So here's the thing. Just because I don't want abortions, I can't make abortions illegal. Because when I do that, I make a law over women's bodies. And what does that do in the bigger picture? That sets a precedence that we cannot have in this country. We cannot have on this planet. But you can only see that if you're not a dog and you go inside. You must do what George Carlin calls, which is the definition. It's the spark of intelligence. You must have introspection. You must see how the brain works. You must recognize that we're all computers and robots with a standard thinking process. Wow, this is from Beverly Hills, this call. You have to be able to see what the implications are of what you want, right? So let's say you're a dog and you're a chicken and you're stuck on a planet together, just the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
A dog eats the fucking
I love the references for animals, by the way.
Thank you. A dog fucking eats the chicken because to stay alive.
Right.
Sevon makes love to the chicken and caresses the chicken and nurtures it so it can give eggs and they can live happily ever after for another 100 years.
Which is another reason
you cannot vote for who you want. You cannot vote to get what you want. You're not a 3-year-old, my friend. You're a brilliant Indian man from a lineage of fucking the deepest thinkers on the planet.
Oh, yes. But what you can do, if you can't get what you want or vote for who you want, you could at the very least, be consistent. At least when you're consistent, then you did the best you can.
Okay. I agree. Thank you for the call. You're very, very, very interesting dude. Okay, go ahead. I
was going to say, but by the way,
you've crossed the 10-minute mark. That would require nudity.
Oh, okay. No, I was just about to ask you if you think I'm smart and interesting, why hang up on me? But now I got your answer, the 10-minute mark. Okay.
Yeah. I have rules. Consistency. Remember consistency. What you were saying, consistency.
But your bigger consistency should be what's good for your program. And obviously, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but I'm not a boring caller, and the chat room is riled up because they're idiots. So I would think keeping me on is good for your program. So just one thing before I go, since you're going to hang up on me, just one quick thing. if you're saying that you're for someone, from what you've explained, you're going by logic, facts, reason, and all that stuff. Don't you see the hypocrisy when you won't touch the topic of age consent laws?
It's not that. Yeah, 100%. I see the hypocrisy. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't use the word hypocrisy, but it is a
Contradiction?
Yeah, no, because I could couch it. Oh, you want to lure me into that conversation? I can couch it. I can couch it for you. I can couch it for you so it's consistent.
I'm not trying to. No, just real quick, I'm not trying to lure you in, and I did use the wrong word. It's not hypocrisy. The right word would have been contradiction, but I'm not trying to lure you in. It's your show. Right. If you don't want to touch that, I respect that. I thought I had a legit question that if you're logical, factual, reasonable, and all that, it's a contradiction that you don't take that topic.
Well, there were 4 to choose from, and you gave me 1. But I would take that topic. Sure. I would take that topic, but I've chosen 1. I hope you will call back. What was your name? Oh, Michael Jordan.
Sure.
Thank you. Peace and love.
Well, I mean, he had good questions.
It was great. Sevon, a man of patience. Thank you. He was great. I beg of you guys all to just think deeper. It's hard, especially with these things, the emotional things. I wanted to spout off on the Joe Rogan thing. But Sousa told me to sit the fuck down. Thank God. Told me not to talk about it for 3 months. Let it percolate. I let it sit for 3 hours. I'm here. I finally listened to the whole thing. I've been listening to people's comments on it. I have no issues with the dude at all. I've written some things on the internet where really the thing is part of me is like really bummed that he said sorry, because I just feel like the woke crowd, and those of you who don't know what woke is, I've defined woke in tons and tons of podcasts. Tons. It's not. It's.
You want me to pull up the video?
Nah, no, it's okay. but if you want to know what woke is, or you think that I'm just using it as a slanderous term or just a place to get on my fucking ladder, you're right. But there's also a definition I work with, and you can go to Peter Boghossian, and you can see his definitions of woke, and I think they're pretty good. I just when Rogan apologizes to the woke crowd, it's just hard because there's no end to it. There's no end to it. And meanwhile, you have this guy, The Rock, and this is getting and these are the kind of responses out there. The Rock he's black and Samoan, and he released an ice cream, a tequila, and an energy drink during this so-called pandemic. How is that even? How are him and Rogan even in the same ballpark? Like, this man is selling to his people, his lineage, what's killing them under the guise of a pandemic. It's remarkable to me. Same with Oprah pushing fucking cookies during the pandemic. I mean, it's just ending nonsense in the game of relativity. I've talked about this a bunch of times. Here, Michael Jordan, dude. I know you like the pedophile conversation. It's insane. When there was that coach in Pennsylvania who was like, he was either molesting people or he didn't. It was Sandusky. I don't know who it was. It doesn't matter who it was. I say Dusky because I just like the way it sounds. The Sandusky.
Dusky's better.
Basically, I think the guy didn't report the kids getting molested, and so they took away a bunch of his football wins. Do you guys see that makes all of us stupid? That's like that's like parenting number one. You don't punish. The punishment has to be or directly related to the behavior. It just makes us all dumb. You can't take he still won those games. I give this one to people, and this is a tough one, man. You ready? You're in the happiest relationship of your life. You love your wife more than fucking life itself. And then you find out after 15 years that she's been cheating on you once a week for the last 15 years. You divorce that? What do you mean? She cracked the code on what makes you happy. Someone who cheats on you and lies to you. Like, that's what you have to look at. You were happy. Oh, no. Come on. Mr. Jordan, come on. There's no pedophile label. You're a man of great questions. But you I don't know what you were doing.
I think.
What was he doing?
I think somebody in the comments called him that.
Oh.
They're like, is this guy? They asked like, is this guy a pedophile? Because he brought it up. But
yeah, that's a tough conversation to have. That's why I don't want to talk about it. Not because there's no win there for me, and I'm okay with. It's like the same thing with my iPhone. That's what makes me so. I was gonna say cool, but we all know our iPhones are made with slave labor from little kids in China, keeping people fucking netted in so they don't, when they jump out, they don't die and they can go back to work the next day. They put nets under the fucking windows. Did you hear about that, Caleb?
Which part? Say it again.
Just in China at the fucking iPhone factory, they fucking put nets all around it. So because people were jumping out the windows. Anyway, but we all use iPhones. Yeah. And so like, I'm okay with the fact that maybe 5 out of 10 times it's okay for 19-year-old men to be with 16-year-old women, or 16-year-old men to be with 19-year-old women. I'm okay with that. But it still doesn't matter. I still want the law. I don't care. I'm about protecting kids, even if it makes it a few years where you can't fuck someone. Fine. We all deal with that. We have to protect kids at all costs. And by the way, that's my thing with Rogan too. What's my alternative? People who want to, I mean, there's kids who've been in school, kindergarten, first and second grade, all with a mask on. You think that's okay? Like, where do you put that on the spectrum of what Rogan's done versus what Gavin Newsom's done? I mean, how they're not even. I don't even want to talk about the Rogan thing when that thing's here. When you have masks on a kid, and he was standing up for the good fight.
It's also interesting.
I will go after. I will make it if Spotify kicks him off. I don't know, but I would love to make it a lifetime war against them, just like for fun. Just like I hope they just fucking tank.
I mean, that was the reason he went to Spotify too to begin with, was because they weren't going to do anything about any of his stuff, because they were trying to get people to like get him kicked off of YouTube or whatever, and like Spotify was like, yeah, cool, throw your podcast on here, we'll pay you shitloads of money.
Michael Jordan, I'm glad you called. I apologize if you felt in any way that I was rude to you, but you came to my house and you started acting like you were wanting to spend the night, and you were only invited over for dinner, so I had to throw you out on your ass. Oh, okay. Oh, I never sent you. Oh, tomorrow we have Jedediah Snelson on. I didn't send you the notes, did I, Caleb? Again,
no, I don't think so.
That's 2 in a row. The notes are a mess. This Did Matt tell you to come on?
No, I just saw that it was on. I heard us talking about it earlier, or I saw it in the text, and I was like, all right, well, might as well.
Did I send you the right one? I got a link of this guy, Jedediah. Is that, am I pronouncing this right? He's on tomorrow, Jedediah Snelson. I was supposed to have him on as a guest at Wadapalooza. Basically what I was doing, and I'm guilty of doing, is I was trying to line up so many people for that live feed that I would always have someone cool on, and he was one of those people that I just had like triple booked.
Ugh.
And he only had like 3,000 followers, so he got kicked to the curb.
Sorry, Jedediah.
But yes, I apologize. But I'm excited to have him on tomorrow morning. I'm very excited to hear his story.
You want that post up? You want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah. Just to give him a peek, everyone a peek for tomorrow. But I am glad, Michael Jordan, you called. Oh, yeah. This was cool. So I'm digging through his Instagram today. This is one of those things. What are these things called? A Jorvac, a Scorevac? What are these things when you look at a picture and it
Well, you mean like a Rorschach?
Rorschach. Is that a Rorschach?
I don't think it's a Rorschach. It's just like imagery within imagery. There's got to be a word for that. I'll look it up. But a Rorschach
is when you see like two things, like you see the old man and then you see the woman with the hat.
No, Rorschach is like ink blots. So like you just have like ink on a page and you say, okay, well, it looks like somebody's murdering somebody, or it looks like a butterfly or whatever.
Right.
But that is not a Rorschach.
Okay. Well, if you look at this, can you scroll up a little bit? If you look at this one, you can see like a guy with a sombrero talking to a lady holding a baby, or you can pull back and you can see a man with a hand on his chest. Come on, Sevon. Come on, Sevon. Come on, Sevon. I do know. I know. I've never met Mark Twight, but I've heard lots of stories about him from Greg and Dave. Lots of stories. I reached out to him, I think, to get him on the podcast. I didn't look into it much, but I think I was on his website and one of his friends' websites recently, and they wrote some of the stupidest shit I've ever seen written about Greg. And you guys have to know that when people say dumb shit about Greg, it's a little hard for me to process because he's done so much for me. But I was with him like almost every day for 10 or 15 years. I lived with him for 2 or 3 years. My wife gave birth, and we lived in a house with him with my baby, raising Avi there for a year. Like there would like. So if anyone, like, when people start saying really dumb, crazy shit about him, it's like, dude. And now I don't even know if I want him on anymore. I don't like. I'd have to go back, and as soon as I saw it, I just kind of like wanted to turn away because I didn't want it to fall down a rabbit hole of just hating people. My notes are kind of old. Oh, this is what I was going to show you guys. Yeah. Can you put that back up there? So I wanted to show you this and give you an example of this in real life. So what you see here is you see two images. You see an old man, a bust of an old man with his hand on his chest, or when you pull back, or no, that you'd have to make it small to see that. But close up the way Caleb, yeah. See, okay, so that nice, Caleb. So that's an old man with his hand on his chest, right? Or a tie or something. And then when you zoom in, you see a dog sleeping in the street and a man and a woman talking, a man with a sombrero. Okay, can you click on the link below that, and it shows it says homeless man, actually drug addict. So here it is in real life. And we talked about this before, but I just happened to think of this today, so I wanted to share it with you. This is a guy, we call this a homeless man. But it's not a homeless man. It's a drug addict. And so this man missaw the picture. See, he's taking his jacket and he's going to go put it on this man who's sleeping here because he thinks it's a homeless man. And then the guy jumps up and beats him and takes his wallet. The thing is that we're just lied to so often. We don't use our own judgment. We don't think for ourselves. The vast, vast majority of people who are homeless are drug addicts. The reason why they're drug addicts is they got caught somewhere in their loop, the hierarchy of breathing, eating, shelter, and having sex. Like somewhere they got those things out of whack. They got drugs in there, and so we call them homeless, but it's a misnomer. They're drug addicts. And the reason why it's important to label them correctly is how you deal with them. And I'm not saying that there's two different ways to deal with someone who's homeless. Like a mom who's working 9 to 5 is homeless and has 2 kids. You deal with her differently than you deal with a drug addict.
So I have a couple of friends who are firefighters, and they'll go on calls, and there's like a 7-Eleven around here that just like crowds with people because the homeless shelter releases them at a certain time in the morning or whatever.
Will you pull this down? I can't look at this anymore. Thank you.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. But so all these homeless people like congregate outside of the 7-Eleven, and they're going to a call at that same 7-Eleven for a homeless guy who probably said he had chest pain, let's say, because that's the quickest way to the ER. And they show up, and literally while they're walking through this crowd of like double-digit homeless people outside 7-Eleven, people are asking the EMS, like firefighters, for money. They're like, "Hey, you guys got any money? You guys got?" It's like, dude, no, there's a supposed emergency here. Like, I'm not gonna. It's ridiculous. It's insane to me what these people will do. And then they'll call them like every other day. They get the same people all the time.
Frequent flyers,
exactly. It's crazy to me.
WWGA said you carried Greg's luggage. I don't know who WWGA is, but I carried Greg's luggage like many a time. Many a time. That is correct. Whoever that is knows. Was that person on the executive team or something? How does that person know? It was an honor to carry fucking Greg's luggage. Dick Butter, at the rate they are laying people off. Oh, darn it. I missed it. I missed whatever that was. If the government cared about their people, California wouldn't have the largest homeless, drug addict population. Let's get that right. In the country, highest taxes in the country, yet 1 mile away from Staples Center is Skid Row. Yes, it is. It is something else.
Oh, make watts great again. That's what WWGA is.
Oh, yeah. That guy has it right. I carried his luggage. I carried everything. I carried all sorts of shit. Let me tell you. I hope I
How
never.
How many cameras would you carry around when you would go places? Like
I'd always have a camera on me, at least one. At least I always had the nicest shit, man. I had like the nicest Leicas, Canons, Sonys. I just had every I always had microphones, wireless. I have like and I would just always be filming and recording and like trying new stuff. And
how do you comb through that much shit?
You really don't. You really don't.
You just remember certain instances.
I was working 7 days a week, 365 days a year, fucking non-fucking stop. If I was awake, I was doing something, and I just have it. So like, I'd say 50% of the footage I've never gone through, maybe more, 80%. But then something would happen, like I'd be somewhere and he would say something or give a lecture or something, and then I would break it off and give it to Leaf, and he'd publish it like something good, or I would show it to Greg and he would be like, okay, let's do maybe we should do the 5 buckets. He would hear something he liked, and then I would later on show him, and he'd be like, yeah. And then he would then blow that up into something bigger or better. It was just pouring shit off of him. Do you know what I mean? Like just ideas and thoughts and theories and concepts, and he knew how to think. He wasn't, he's the one that always told me, like, you have to always be thinking about precedent. You always have to you have to be thinking about precedent. And like so for instance, another classic thing is he taught me the thing and explained it to me, and we looked at it and studied it. That's why the government should never tax, or you should be very careful. You tax alcohol. Now the government is selling alcohol. Tax is just word trickery. They are now in business. It's the same thing with homeless. It's word trickery. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Until you can embrace that, you can't know what the fuck's going on here, or you can't even begin to think.
It's like living with a human highlight reel.
Yes. I just saw a comment in here that's awesome. I don't even know what it's. This is one of his balls on your chin. Now I don't even know why Trina is saying that, but like, it's a good one. That's a good one from the high school days. Because when someone's balls are on your chin, you know where their cock is. I mean, it's just a great, man.
She's commented some funny shit.
He fired some tweets at 7. Caleb should pull. No, please don't. I don't want to. I don't even tweet her. If I'm ever on Twitter, it's just because I'm just reposting stuff. I'll see something someone likes and I just repost it. I don't even know how to use Twitter. When I was running the media department at CrossFit, I don't use Facebook either. I don't know how to use Facebook. I don't know anything about it really, except that when I post stuff on Instagram, it's supposed to go to Facebook. And people used to say that made me incapable or unqualified to run the media department. I mean, compared to what's going on now, I'm fucking hyper qualified. I was thinking about I wanted to say sorry to Gary Gaines. Do you remember that show I did where I blasted him and Austin Malleolo?
Right.
But I'm not really sorry.
You did like a brief apology to Austin.
Well, Austin I misrepresented.
Sure.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah,
I
mean,
but I did.
Association, guilty by association kind of thing.
I mean, he sold the gym. For those of you who don't know, I was ripping Malleolo for being the North American affiliate representative and then owning a gym that was setting vaccine mandates before they even happened.
That's great.
So I want to see this. What was Andy Stump's job at CrossFit? Just saw him on Rogan again, and he doesn't get mentioned much here. The thing is with Andy is I really liked Andy, and I would say I was good friends with Andy. I would say we had a very special relationship actually, and then when the Greg shit went down, Andy took that opportunity, my words, not his, to launch into an attack on Greg. And he did some shit that I just didn't think was cool, especially when I was on the ship, right? So he's lobbing grenades at the ship while I'm on it. I didn't like that. So since then, I kind of like, in my head, I have him like in timeout. I mean, he don't give a fuck. He's on Rogan. He's like, good, time me out, bitch. Like I probably just, like I got street cred for saying that, and like he doesn't give a fuck. So Yeah, I want to say sorry to Gary Gaines, but I'm not sorry. But like, I need to work through it.
Is he actually going to be the interim CEO? Is that what the Willis said?
I've no evidence of that. None at all. I was just, after I went on, like, you know, I was spewing venom and I was doing the Scorcher thing, and the things that I said I think were true. But you know, yeah, I'm trying to think of a metaphor. I wasn't seeing. I wasn't seeing the big picture. And so there were things that he was probably doing that I was being criticizing. It's like kind of like the Joe Rogan thing. Like if I just look at that myoptically and I don't look like it, I'm just like, fuck, he said bad shit, get rid of him. But I'm not looking at myself and how it affected me. I'm not looking at his broader contribution to society. Once again, I'm not looking at why is it bothering me. And so I love these guys. Wyatt Be Gay. And I appreciate you representing the gay people here, by the way. That's cool. And then this guy's like, Sevon, answer that.
They really got their
this motherfucker's like my handler.
There was one guy a couple episodes ago. I think he just copy pasted the comment like 20 times in there, and then everybody was just finally like, "Dude, get this guy to shut up and just answer the question."
Oh, yeah, that's good.
It was not really a great question either, to be honest.
Oh my God, Sevon. Well, I don't believe in God, but I understand. I do have a question for you. This girl has two names, Stephanie Christina. Did you ever see that movie, Christina Barcelona, with Javier Bardem?
What's it about?
He basically gets these two girls to like go away on an island with them, and he's gonna bang them. It's
Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
Yeah, Vicky Cristina Barcelona. Anyway, if that movie would have been R-rated, that movie's PG, right?
PG-13.
Yeah, that could have been the greatest movie. That could have been the greatest movie ever if it was R-rated. Oh my God, Sevon, I do have a question for you. What podcast were you referring to that spoke about you for 15 minutes? I keep trying to find it, but I'm not sure what one. I really don't want to. Just those guys.
They're not gonna. You won't find their name.
Have you ever hit a dog with a car?
No, but I hit a bird the other day. It was I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it does suck, right? I was like 8 years old and I was driving my dad's van cross country. He was sitting next to me taking a nap, big Dodge van, and we had the extended roof on it. And there was a bird flying across. We were like in Kansas, and I floored it as I see the bird going, and I fucking hit it.
Yeah.
And like I swear to God, I think I felt a little piece of my soul go to hell. Like I was like, okay, don't ever do that again. I did not like that. I thought there was no way I would hit it.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, they'll get out of the way. They know what's right for them.
It's like that joke Rogan told, the Planet of the Apes one. It's like, no one will hear that. Oh shit.
Oh shit. Everybody heard that.
Yeah.
We were on a trip.
Not only that, it's just been fermenting for 13 years.
Yeah, finally somebody decided to go back and listen to all those podcasts he did. And they're like, oh shit.
That.
Oh
my God. But so I feel like I was with a friend one time. We were just stoned out of our mind. I think we were probably 23. My friend's so nice. He's the nicest man I know. And he's driving his Honda Civic, and we're on a highway doing like 50 miles an hour in the middle of nowhere, Pleasant Hill, California, just in the backside of Pleasant Hill. And a fucking German Shepherd runs across the street, and I see the headlights, and I just hear this boom, boom.
No way. That's a massive dog too. Like that's no shit. Like
it was a small German Shepherd, like a 60-pound one. But
still,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
That'll fuck up your front end.
It was a girl. And anyway,
oh no.
He was devastated. I was stoned out of my mind. Like I couldn't tell whether I was gonna laugh or cry. But that's how I feel about the pot, like answering your questions, Stephanie. Like that was like a dog I hit. And I don't know if I want to go back and look at it. You know what I mean? Like I just fucking like just it just hit it. Like I just hit like, you know, it's I was going to do a podcast on a follow-up on basically what's going on with Rosa and try, I have a lot of information on it, and I'm trying to figure out how I can let it out appropriately. By appropriately meaning I accurately and without bearing anyone, without there being collateral damage, and have fun. And so I had the show laid out, and it was going to be chill and everything. And then that night someone goes, "Hey, did you see what Shawnee and Tommy did?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Dude, they're just going off about you for fucking an hour." And it was like 9 o'clock at night. And I watched it, and I just fucking, I was like a fucking little kid that it was better than when my foreskin came back. I mean, I was just ecstatic. It was like I got electrified, like a toy train set for Christmas, and I just put it together, and I was lifting the lever up for the first time, and like I could hear the track crackling. It was like that. And so then in the morning I woke up and I just fucking went nuts, and I had fun. And yeah, no, it's not that podcast. That's not the one. No. Oh.
I mean, if you're looking for the stuff where Andy's.
Speaking of gay dogs, Great Danes are. Oh, yeah. The one. Yeah. Great Danes are that's a gay man's dog, I think, in general. I had 3.
Telling.
I had this friend, Mark, say to me, "Why do you have a truck with big tires, a massive stereo system, and 3 huge dogs?" I'm like, why do you think?
Compensating. That's everybody in the Midwest or the South. It's just you get jacked up trucks. And
I said, because my mom fucking spoils me. What the fuck do you think? What dog would you get? Which truck would you get? And which stereo system would you get if your mom was hooking you up with stuff?
It'd be hard not to.
Oh, one of my friends texted me and said the guy who called in earlier is the Zodiac Killer.
He was kind of cryptic. Yeah, I could see it.
Hey, guess who we have coming on the show? I haven't told you this, Caleb. This just happened minutes before the show. Shoot, I can't. I don't want to. Will you look up the Armenian Sniper? Armenian Sniper.
Gary Chivchichan.
Yeah, let me see. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing his name right. I wonder if Patrick David has had him on his podcast yet. Gary Chivchichan. Oh man, my Armenian. No. That's
No.
Wait. Oh yeah. That's him. This dude's Armenian, and he's hooping in the NBA and the G League. Yeah. Gary Chivchichan. I've never seen that Armenian last name. The Bible really is the best book on the planet. If you just spend some time reading it, you'll quickly realize it has all the answers you're looking for. Glory to God and the Son of God who saves us and cleanses us from our sins. Mr. Roberts, how can I help you?
Hey, Mr. Saban, how's it going, man?
Good.
Live from Watsonville, California.
No shit. Let's get up here.
Well, I would, but I'm sober.
Oh, so, me too.
Yeah, I met you at Elevate Addiction Services when you came up for the video shoot.
Wow. Were you a staff or were you a member?
I was staff.
Oh, okay.
So we shared brief conversation, but you hung out with some of the other coaches that were there, and it was a great time. So I appreciate your involvement in even that space.
Yeah, thanks for opening up to me. That was a great shoot. It's really a shame that video never got made, but I really had fun with you. Angie's the owner, right?
Yeah, Angie is.
Yeah, the people I met there, those 4 or 5 people that I interviewed there will forever, I don't know forever, but for a long time stay in my brain.
Yeah, I lived with one of them, Dallas. Dude's a good dude. But yeah, shout out Dallas. Sorry, Savon, had to do that. Okay. But
all
both
6
big
listeners
fans.
Heard you.
Yeah, 132 actually. I hope.
My bad.
They're in the chat room at least. But yeah, big fan of your show. Love your enthusiasm of tits, ass, and dick talk.
Thank you. Thank you.
But most importantly,
yes, we like to call it cock
I am-
and balls around here. Show a little class.
Cock and balls. Excuse
Thank
me.
you. Yep.
Yeah, with the CAC,
Cack.
the East Coast CAC.
Cack.
All right. So I'm not vaxxed, and I believe in holistic health, as do you. I'm moving to Sac and Roseville area. I was looking for CrossFit gyms that you recommend.
I honestly don't. I don't know. I really don't know. That is a fucking great question. Maybe there's a Sacramento affiliate listening right now, or someone will drop it in the comments of this video on the YouTube. I don't know. I have to assume there's some. I have to assume there's something. I don't even know. You know what? I think Sacramento is actually one of the cities. The irony of it, since it's those of you who don't know, that's our state capital in California. I think they had like the loosest restrictions. I think they were the first city or county to drop their mask and all that shit. It's crazy here right now. Have you noticed, like in the last 3 months, just in our hood, it's just like tripled, quadrupled down on masks. Like everywhere I go. Well, not today. Today I went to a store and it was the first time someone else besides me and my family weren't wearing masks. But it's crazy around here.
Yeah, every once in a while I pass someone and I always say, "Hey, nice to see your face." And yeah, it's nuts out here. LA is just as bad. I was down there for the Rams Niners game. But
How
yeah,
was that?
just
You
as
didn't
bad,
need
if
to
not
be you didn't need to be vaccinated to get into that?
worse. No, I paid for a test. I was willing to do that when I dropped $1,100 for the game.
That's
So,
for 2 tickets.
$50, one ticket, dude.
Ay.
I know it was a great time. That stadium is amazing. Really cool. But I'm glad to be in Northern California, man.
Yeah. The Niners lost that.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot
So-
of really negative stuff to say about the NFL, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not going to go any further than that. But
they're pretty money hungry.
They're racist.
They're pretty bad.
Racist scumbags.
Yeah, I don't disagree. So, well, if somebody posts, get out of California. True that, Sean. If somebody posts a good CrossFit box in Sac, be greatly appreciated. But Savon, have a good night and keep up the good work.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Say what's up to Angie in Dallas. Thank you.
I will do. Thank you.
Do you find
Wow.
it interesting when people use
Small
like a
world.
double negative to respond to something?
Like, give me an example.
Like you just said, I don't disagree. Like why not? Why? Like I've heard that from multiple people. Why don't you think they not just say I agree?
I don't know.
You think it's just like
Poetry in motion.
suppose I think. Yeah, I don't know.
It would
Just
be.
thought of that.
I need to listen to that more. So I need to when people are talking like that, watch my brain more and see how my brain processes that too. I do like talk that's like you never know where it's going. That
Like,
is one of the.
how
That's
so?
why it's so cool talking to Hobart. But Hobart does it with no expression. But I like it even when people are animated and I still don't know. So so the classic is Conor McGregor wins his second belt. He's like this. You probably can find the clip, and he's like, I think he had beaten Eddie Alvarez, maybe won a second belt. It'll be a short clip. Do you see it?
Oh, I think so.
Sorry will be in the title probably, maybe.
I
You
don't
probably shouldn't play it. It'll probably fuck up the whole video. But basically, he's up there and he goes, I was backstage. I'd be just being an asshole, starting fights with everyone. I've been hard to deal with this whole training camp. And I just want to say, I'm sorry to absolutely nobody. And then fucking loses his shit. And I'm just like, Bruce, Bruce, don't you care about the Benjamins, baby? Oh, you know what? I don't even think this show's monetized. Do you know how to do that?
I couldn't tell you now. I can figure it out on YouTube probably.
Yeah, go into YouTube and look at the thing, and that way, yeah, I apologize to no one. Yeah, I just like, how does he do that, Travis? How does he know? Does he know before is that all planned, or is that he's just like, that's him? I think
Or
that's just
like
him.
Yeah, maybe that's like a bit. But also at the same time, I feel like he's also just so unpredictable.
Yeah, it's good. The person, the double champ apologizes to no one. Yeah, it's so good. I got a video here. I don't know if we've played it yet. It says Navy SEALs and trust. These are notes from a while back. I don't even remember what that video is. Do you see that?
Yeah, you want me to play it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right, Wyatt. I think he's that savage. I think it's just pouring out of him. Let's see. Why do I like this? Let's see this.
How do you pick like the guys that go on SEAL Team 6? Because they're the best, the best, the best, the best. They drew a graph for me. And on one side, they wrote the word performance. And on the other side, they wrote the word trust. The way they put it is, I may trust you with my life, but do I trust you with my money and my wife? They're SEALs. This is what they told me. Nobody wants this person, the low performer of low trust, of course. Of course, everybody wants this person, the high performer of high trust. What they learned is that this person, the high performer of low trust, is a toxic leader and a toxic team member. And they would rather have a medium performer of high trust, sometimes even a low performer of high trust, it's a relative scale, over this person. This is the highest performing organization on the planet, and this person is more important than this person. And the problem in business, we have 1,000,001 metrics to measure someone's performance and negligible to no metrics to measure someone's trustworthiness, which is bad for the long game because it eventually destroys the whole organization. I've worked with the Navy, and I asked them.
So good. Trust is a very, very, very deeply misunderstood term, by the way. Trust is like in it's unachievable. There's no such thing as 100% trustworthy. It's this standard that's just like, yeah, you can trust these nuts though. Yeah, I hear you. It's just so you can't. Okay, trust. Here we go. Firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. Yeah, it's on a scale. It's like I heard like the credit score scale is like 0 to 850, but no one can ever be 850. There are no 850s. It's just like this. It's this mystical thing. There's no one who's 100% trustworthy. But in trust, so as you start learning more and more about trust and you get deeper and deeper into understanding what makes a great relationship, what you really want is someone who's just honest. And when you don't want to trust them, you want to trust that they are honest.
It's
because it's too much pressure to make someone trustworthy. Go ahead.
Like he was saying, it's like there's 1,000,001 metrics to measure somebody's performance. Anywhere, I don't want to say anywhere, but most of the jobs that people get, whether you're in the military or whether you're in like just corporate America, you're measured by a resume. It's like you have a resume and it says like, okay, I've achieved this amount of things in the past 365 days, and that's a metric that is used for people to like rise to the top. So but the problem is you have people who have not achieved very much on paper, but yet everybody around them would do anything for that person, and they're not the ones getting to the top.
Well, that sounds like a good leader, right?
Yes. Anybody that I've worked with so far, not very long, but anybody that I've worked with who I've been able to trust, I mean, obviously not 100%, but I could trust them to do the right thing or have some sort of moral obligation to do the right thing. I felt more compelled to follow them than I ever did somebody who was just chasing bullets, chasing a resume builder, because as soon as you figure out like, oh, this person's doing that strictly so that they can get another line on their resume, you can't work with them anymore, because that everything about them is now selfish. And I think that it's starting to become a growing problem, I think, just everywhere. And I think like Will and I had a conversation about it.
Will Brandstetter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Will Brandstetter. Yeah. We had a conversation about it the other day, like about how people just do stuff for themselves now, instead of it being like, the reason I asked, because he's a religious guy, and I asked him like, okay, so why do you follow the religion that you do, and why do you feel so compelled to do so? And his reasoning was because, and I'm paraphrasing, not trying to speak on his behalf, but this is what I got from it, was that he did it out of gratification of helping others, more than he got the gratification of how he felt like about him doing the task, basically.
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like, but you have people nowadays, like if you look at, I mean, even alcoholics have the same problem, you know, like they're chasing something for themselves so that they can have some sort of dopamine hit or have some sort of feeling or feeling some sort of accomplishment or whatever it is chemically that makes them chase the thing. Like, I mean, you look at the homeless guy, the drug addict, he's doing that so that he can go buy some more drugs or do whatever he wants to please himself, rather than like, hey, I'm going to go try to use that money to invest or try to get a job or build a resume or whatever it is. But
yeah, yeah. Trust. I think trust and honesty are just so intertwined. I don't think there's when someone's honest with you, then you begin to trust them, and then you begin to want to be with them more, and you begin to want to do their bidding. And I don't know, because you know what you said, it's like it's getting worse and worse. I don't know, because I've only lived in this time zone, and anytime I say something like that, I hear my dad's voice go, no, these problems have always been here. And then you hear someone be like, you think shit's bad now, how would you like to have been alive during World War II? And I'd be like, okay, I'll take
I walked 5 miles uphill every day to school.
Yeah. How would you like to be a Jew in fucking Warsaw in 1942? I'll take Santa Cruz, California in 2022 for 7, Chuck. Hello, Miss Roder.
Hey, Savon.
Mr. Roder.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, so I just wanted to ask about your thoughts on the CrossFit Games, and if you ever feel like they'll reach mainstream popularity of some other sports here, especially like I remember back when you were doing this, like the behind the scenes, the games. What was that? I think I saw like 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't think they made any the last couple of years, but that really was what drew me into CrossFit. And I feel like things like that are great for the sport. I don't think anyone's really doing that much of that anymore, other than maybe like the Buttery Bros are doing a little bit of that. But is there anything that could be done to promote the sport and actually get the sport of CrossFit, like the game side and the open and the invitational? Is there anything that can be done that would actually encourage that growth and really make that a big sport, as opposed to CrossFit only being like the gyms?
Mr. Roder, I'm going to make this up for you. Never before, but it's a kind of a mix of thoughts. But I'm going to give this to you just fresh off the press. Ready?
All right.
You're not going to like the answer. To grow the games is tantamount to getting fake titties, Botox, collagen, butt implants, cut your thigh, extend it, make yourself taller, buy a Lamborghini, have your liposuction, all that shit. There is, my opinion, strictly, and I'm this is not something like I'm dead set on. I'm 51.9% sure that what I'm saying is accurate. There is no fucking way to grow the games with any authenticity, sincerity, or longevity without focusing on the heart, the liver, the organs, what you eat, like all the other stuff that you would do to try to make the games bigger is all superficiality bullshit. It just it's not gonna work. Like getting breast implants just makes more cock chase you. Like there's, at the end of the day, if that's what makes you happy, cool. But I really don't think that's anyone's happiness. And like every single person who's gotten implants, that's what they do. And even the cops and the even the docs and the plastic surgeons who put in these, there's a point where the tits are so big that they call them money makers. Like there's like a level of size, that size and bigger, they're called money makers. That's the professional term. And so what has to happen, and this is what has to happen is, do you see the metaphor, the parallel, or the simile that I'm trying to draw here? You have to take care of the inside of the body. Like people are putting lotion on and zit medicine and really you have to nurture what's inside, the organs, the everything that's inside of you. This outside skin, this fucking hair, this gel I have in it, these fancy glasses, these wristbands, these are the games. And the games will only grow when that thing inside grows more and is taken care of and is healthy. And I really think that's it. And that's the problem, because the current regime has no they don't even know that there's a body inside of there. Do you know what I mean? Like how most
Yeah,
people
but-
don't even know. Like how it's crazy. Dude, it's nuts that tens of thousands of millions of women cut their fucking chest open and have fucking plastic shoved into them or whatever the fuck spewed into them. Only one thing should be spewed into a woman. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fascinating and I think they're awesome and like good to look at and blah, 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 blah. If I had daughters, I would never fucking want them to have to deal with that shit. There was this fucking chick the other day. I was reading her Instagram. She had her fucking big old D's pulled out. And it's the first time she can breathe in like 12 years. She's like a famous bodybuilder with like 800,000 followers. I'm like, my God. First time you could breathe. Those things were like inhibiting your breathing. So dudes like me can be like, nice titties. Well, so we can, I mean, how are we even tricked? I'm not running out. Sorry, Mr. Roeder. Sorry. I don't mean to take over. Let's go back to what you're saying. What do you think about that? So I don't think the games can grow until the community grows and the affiliates are growing. What do you think about that? And there'll never be another behind the scenes bet like me. There just can't be behind the scenes. That's a sign that the sport's growing, that I'm gone, by the way. So if you need a metric or proof that it's growing, people like me cannot be around a mainstream sport. I'm too honest.
Maybe, but you also seem to have a relationship with the athletes too. Like they knew who you were. They seemed to like you, at least the ones that were on cameras did. And so it wasn't like some random person who just was trying to interview them. It was like you knew them, they knew you, and you were able to connect to them.
Right. I mean, yeah, I did. I liked them. I loved them. I loved them. I think they're neat. They're fucking cool. I told the story this morning. Rich Froning texts me like once a year, and when he texts me, like I won't open the text message for hours, like just savoring it. I talked to Angela DeChico. I talked to Angela DeChico this morning. I was like fucking giddy. I'm a fucking 49-year-old man talking to like just the nicest young man I've talked to like forever. It's so cool. Yeah, I mean, I love these guys. I talked to those girls, Taylor and Andrea, who are on the team. Awesome. Oh, yeah, I love these people. But what I'm saying is you can't have me. Like you can't have. They're not going to let someone like well, I don't know. Maybe someone will think out of the box and they'll let it happen. I mean, the UFC thinks out of the box. I mean, can you imagine what I could do for the UFC if they would let me do the behind the scenes back there? Holy shit. Yeah.
Kind of like the Dana White has the looking for a fight.
Yeah. All that stuff still is a bit superficial though, because the thing is I cared because I thought CrossFit was mine. I thought I owned it. I walked around like I owned it. Like that guy, the meme guy said, I carried Greg's bags, man. I own the fucking place. Fucking got Greg's room key. I got his bags. I walked up to his room, opened the door, put his bag in, made myself a drink, took my shoes off, kicked it on the couch with the boss, top floor of the Trump Soho. Thought about all the questions I would ask. I'll ask anything I want because this company's mine. And I just ran like that. That part of me is kind of coming out again. I'm nurturing it with this podcast. Dude, you better interrupt me or else I'm never going to answer your question, Mr. Roeder.
Well, what it sounds like is you kind of took ownership of that though, which in my opinion is what's wrong with a lot of companies nowadays, like work with people who they just don't care. They're there for a paycheck. And it's like, hey, it would be great if we all took ownership of this and all like I want to make the company money. I want to make the company grow. And a lot of people, I guess, don't feel that way because they seem to be there just to put in their time and leave.
Well, what you have now is you just have serial executives coming and going. You have it's just you can never. It's not their fault either. You can never have. I'm going to use Will Brandstetter as the perfect example. This guy who works on this fucking podcast is like the reason this thing is fucking exploding. Like, I didn't know Caleb was going to fucking be here today. I didn't know he was going to be here this morning. He sees the calendar, he pops up, and he's fucking helping me. This show, I thought Souza would be sitting where he is. And I didn't, and Souza, no show, didn't text me, which is fine. It's not digging at what I'm saying. And Caleb showed up. So when you have people who care and they're taking ownership, and like they're like, and like someone's building me a website and fucking Will's like taking charge of like telling him what colors to use, and someone else is doing like my taxes like are ready to be due, and fucking Matt Souza's helping me with that, and Caleb's here every morning with me doing this shit when like he's like, hey, I can't work on the show for 2 weeks. And I said, okay, cool. And then he's been here every day for 2 weeks. I go, what happens? I got COVID and fuck, I can't go out. So it's like he's here now. It's just like you can't have that. that type of commitment unless everyone has ownership, and you just don't have that at CrossFit. That's not their fault. Just those days are over for the company. And so how is a big bag? How is big? Nah, you know what? Greg traveled light, but they were cool bags. And like, if I said like he could have like a $2,700 bag, and I'd be like, that's a nice bag. He'd be like, get yourself one, kid. You should have seen my bag collection. I mean, I still got a pretty insane bag collection. Like this vest, Filson vest, courtesy of Greg Glassman. These glasses, courtesy of Greg Glassman.
I tried to find that shirt you wore earlier today on the Filson website. I can't find it anymore.
Yeah, it's dope.
It's really nice.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is I used to never wear that because I was like, I was embarrassed. Like, oh, buttons, snaps, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm just old and fuck it.
Is it
now
buttons? Is it buttons or is it snaps?
Snaps. I'll wear one tomorrow. I'll wear one tomorrow morning with buttons. That's so nice. They only made like 600 of them. It's got a tag. It's like 7 of 600. It looks like exactly like that one, but it's buttons. And yes. So, Mr. Roder, I think we're a long way off from this thing becoming huge. I think people like Tia, Matt Fraser, Rich Froning really did a lot. I think that, I mean, with Dave gone, you got another fucking huge hole. That's a massive step backwards.
So what if
the biggest player in the game right now helping this fucking thing? This is going to shock some people. The Buttery Bros, Craig Ritchie, that dude Nate, that meme guy. Those are the big fucking players. Those fucking people are carrying this fucking thing. I think without them, there's nothing.
Yeah, if I
we
was
all
running
thank you to those
CrossFit-
guys. Oh, the Wiki guy out of South Africa or whatever.
Josie.
Josie. I don't know. Does Josie have his own channel?
Life of Josie. I don't. No, he just puts out stuff about other people.
Then fuck him. Then fuck him. Not fuck
Okay,
him. No,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
joking.
yeah.
Not fuck him. He's Armenian. Love that guy. At the top of the heap is Josie. But without them, there's nothing. Like, who would there be without Craig Ritchie right now? 386,422 subscribers. Who's counting? And Talking Elite Fitness 29,000. Who's counting? I mean, fucking Armin left. He was fucking holding down the fort, fucking being the angry Armenian. Now I gotta fucking do it. Yeah. So I don't think this thing stands a fucking. They're trying to monetize it before they're reaching into the golden goose and pulling out the golden eggs. And they're going to damage the uterus and the genitalia of this goose. You have to be patient and nurture the goose and let the eggs fall out. And they don't have time for that.
Yeah, well, if they were smart, they'd bring in someone like Froning to be a high-level person, maybe have him take Dazel place to at least be a figurehead. And that would at least probably keep CrossFit somewhat relevant with all the old CrossFit people if they were considering leaving.
I don't know if that would do it, but I ain't hating. All right, Mr. Roder, thank you. Wow, you crossed over into the 11-minute 40-second mark, but that's because I was talking so much. Peace and love, brother.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'll get back in the comments and start trolling you again.
Thank you. I appreciate it. When you're desperate for relevance, you'll take I think Armin had a kid.
Yeah, he did, and then he started his own like father talk podcast. I think so. That I think he's been doing that a lot more than CrossFit stuff.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I am in big trouble. I just got a text from one of my friends who has these huge fake tits. I'm afraid to open the text.
How dare you?
I mean, her tits are great. They're huge and they're great looking. I mean, I'm not. That's not directed at you. I'm scared. I'm not gonna open that till tomorrow. I'm not opening that till tomorrow. You're gonna yell at me. I'm not being yelled at. I'm gonna be yelled at. We're still friends. Your tits are cool. I appreciate them. I'm glad that I just don't have to do that.
What's this thing about the Ivy League swimmers? The women.
I don't know if that's so. Like, I want to stay positive. That's the two dudes who competed against each other. You know.
Gotcha.
But they can we? What about this elite discipline? I think this is kind of motivating.
I'll tell you.
Has this show been rather positive, or is this show negative?
It's been more positive than normal.
Oh, I love you, Caleb. Thank you. Thank you. No, I didn't like that. More positive than normal. Okay.
Okay, this has been fucking negative.
Here we go.
Single morning before school. Every single morning. I woke up at 4:59. I was at the gym at 5:15, shot 1,000 shots. If I did not make 850 out of 1,000 3-pointers, I redid that workout at night. Most of you guys couldn't even come close to making 850 out of 1,000. Most of you guys couldn't even shoot 1,000 without your arms cramping up. And I did 850 out of 1,000 every single morning, every single day, game day, non-game day, weekend, non-weekend, winter break, still showed up at 5:15 a.m. every single day throughout my high school career. I was not blessed as a tall guy.
Me neither.
Never made it to 6 foot. I wasn't blessed as a super athlete, but I worked really hard. I was blessed with elite discipline. And I think the good news is all of us can get to that level of discipline if we want it bad enough. I shot 1,000.
What's that guy's name? Would you click on that link one more time? Drew Halen, elite discipline. What a cool juxtaposition of words, isn't it? Elite.
It is interesting.
Dick Butter is a handful. I mean, what do you expect from a guy named Dick Butter? Why is my?
I will say that sounds eerily similar to what Kobe used to do and Michael Jordan.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not saying somebody else couldn't do it, but it is interesting to have. I don't know who this guy is, but skills coach, keynote speaker.
Drew Hanlon. I wonder if we should have him on the show. I like anyone with more followers than me. I didn't say that out loud, did I?
What?
Nothing. Drew Hanlon.
Yeah.
Drew, I'm gonna follow him real quick. He sounds like he'd be cool to have on the show. Oh no, I keep seeing that text message from my friend with the giant tits. I'm just freaking out. I don't want to upset her. Drew Hanlon. She doesn't just have giant tits. She has her whole shit's like great. Like she's
Great
just,
personality.
I don't know. I mean,
really
her personality. I don't know her
smart.
personality too well. I mean, she's cool. I like her. The little bit I've hung out with her, she's cool as shit. She's fun. She's easygoing. She's a hard worker. It's not like she just got those tits and is relying on them. She's a fucking beast of a CrossFitter. Okay, enough of that. I'm tripping. Oh, Drew Hanlon is awesome. Works with a lot of NBA players. Okay, maybe he'll work with me. So elite discipline. You know what's interesting about that? They say that you need to do stuff that you don't like to do or work hard. I have elite discipline, but I find stuff that I like, even if I don't like it. Do you know what I mean by that?
Like,
I
mean, like-
I stay on my. I feel like I know when I'm on my path. Like if I went to law school, that wouldn't be my path, and I'd fucking hate it, kicking and screaming.
yes. It's not that you don't enjoy doing whatever it is difficult. The only reason you're doing it is because you're enjoying it, and that's why you're pursuing it with such fervor.
Yeah, that. Oh, you need kids.
I do not need kids.
Yes, that you said it. Yes. So once you find what you enjoy, and if you found something you enjoy and you haven't put elite discipline around it, you're nuts. You're nuts. Even if you don't like it, even if you're kind of good at it. I was talking with my friend Travis Bajan about that this morning. I'm like, dude, you're so good at XYZ. So I know I hate it. I'm like, but dude, cultivate that shit. Cultivate it.
And I think that's why some people just don't end up doing, like, that's why you just have disgruntled people. Not everywhere, but most places you go. Like you go to.
Wait, say that again. Sorry, I was reading comments. Say that again. I'm not reading them anymore.
It's the reason why you see people who are just disgruntled everywhere. If you go to like the grocery store or you go to somewhere like a fast food restaurant, like those people are just pissed off because they're not doing that because they enjoy it. They do it because like they have to, or they don't have another option, you know. But if you like put somebody in a position where they actually enjoy what they're doing, then they'll take more pride in it, and they'll go the extra mile. They'll tell you all the niceties, you know. You'll get better customer service, if you will, you know. Like I used to teach swim lessons way back in the day, like, and the person who owned the manager, she loved her job and she like thought it was great, and she would go the extra mile. She'd help all the customers feel like they were welcome, you know, all of that stuff. But then like you throw me in there and I'm just like a 21-year-old college student, and I'm like, I literally just need this to make money. I don't give two fucks about what happens to it. You know, like I'll teach the kids how to swim, and I'll say, "Hey, your kid
Ah.
did great," and then I'll send them on their way because I did not care.
We see oh. Are you seeing it? Are you looking at these texts coming in?
Yes.
Will, are you going to respond? Is Will listening? Will Brandstetter, are you going to respond to that? That's fucking hilarious.
Go ahead, Will. Have at
Tell
it.
him to come on the podcast if he wants to fucking fight with me. I'll grab my ankles. He can give it to me hard. No lube. I just tell him to come on the podcast. It's funny that you use grocery store as an example. I pretty much love everything I do in my life. I've set my life up to like, I love picking up dog poop. I love picking up dog poop.
Why?
You know, because when I find one, I know that that's one less one in my yard. Sometimes the only time I don't like it is when I can't find one. So let's say I picked up 3 and like I have 4 bags. Let's say I go out in my backyard with 4 bags and I pick up 3 and now I've done 3 laps around the yard and I can't find a 4th one. I start to stress a little bit. And the reason why I like it is because that means my kids and everyone can run around barefoot. I'm doing my job. I'm no fucking liver king. I'm not fucking bringing the cow home. But I get amazing enjoyment. When I'm in my backyard and I spot a plant that has a thistle plant growing and I get my shovel and just pop it out, I'm so happy. I love going to the grocery store. I haven't been in since the pandemic started because I fucking don't want to deal with the idiots. But I used to go there at least twice a week with my kids. My wife would be like, man, you're taking all 3 kids again. I'm like, that's the whole point of going to the store. Hang out in the grocery store with my 3 kids. I loved it. I love looking at people. Every single fucking person. I love watching my kids look at people. Kids run up to the guy with 1 leg. Hey, what happened to you? I'm like, you know, just loving that shit.
So there's like a level of catharsis to it. Like you just get some sort of like satisfaction out of doing those things.
Yeah. Like I only do what I fucking want. Like, yeah, I work hard to keep all the poop out of my yard. So you never have to wear shoes. It's like, I don't enjoy vacuuming. I love fucking emptying the vacuum bag container. Bring it back, click it in. It's empty. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
Drop the massive like dust bowl into the trash can kind of thing.
My wife's gonna call bullshit on this, but I also like pulling the dryer thing out.
Oh, the lint out of the dryer?
Swooping all that shit out of there. Getting it so the dust doesn't go anywhere. Being gentle yet aggressive enough to get into the deep nooks and crannies and then throw it away.
Have you noticed that in your kids yet?
What?
Have you noticed them like they have like I don't know, maybe one thing that they're just like, let me do this every time. Like even if it's something you normally do, if they see you doing it and they like doing it, they'll do it instead.
There are things like that. The other day I was in the backyard or the other day I couldn't find 2 of my boys and I went in the backyard and they had fucking dug a hole.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you guys doing? They're digging a hole. I'm like, oh, what for? They're like, cuz. I'm like, I mean, I enjoy digging holes too, but I usually would stick something and I was like, all right. But I know what you mean. That's not a good example. I know what you mean. Like this, like, no, like I really like doing the wash. I like separating the whites and the colors. I like putting the bleach in because my wife hates it. And I like hitting extra rinses so she doesn't know that I bleached it and then closing the door and starting it. But they haven't, no, I'm sure there's something.
I always see kids like, or if you ever go to like a store, they usually have like the kids cart, like a little miniature.
Yes. And they had those at Whole Foods and my kids. And I love the attention when I go there with my 3 kids because I just sit back and just watch people be like, oh my God, those are and I'm just like, yeah.
They're like center stage and like anywhere they go.
Yeah.
Because especially because they're so. Like if you saw 3 kids that didn't get along with each other and they were just shitheads for like the entire hour that you're out,
very common.
Cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. They're like, that's disgusting. I don't want anything to do with that.
I wouldn't take my kids out if they were like that either. I would dread it. it.
As soon as you see 3 kids in like symbiosis, like they just want to go out and do things. They want to check the prices on shit. They want to like, hey, can we get some like then it's like, that's awesome. Like they're helping dad get the groceries, like, hey, get that roll of salami or whatever, you know, and they'll just run over and be like, this one? Yeah, cool. Throw it in the cart. It's awesome.
The town only has probably 30,000 people I live in. I don't know, 50,000. It's small.
Yeah.
And then we're isolated because we're up over the hill from San Jose and it's just like a treacherous highway to get where I'm at. And basically everywhere I go with my kids, Like, doesn't matter where I go, someone knows them or spots them or will say hi to them or knows them from something. Like, oh, we see you at the beach. Oh, we see you at jiu-jitsu. Oh, we see you at tennis. Oh, we've seen you skate at the skate park. Like, someone will always be like, those are those 3 boys that used to have long hair. And I'm like, yeah, that's them.
That's awesome. That's how we have a border collie, and that's kind of how it is wherever we go places. Like,
yes,
we take her basically everywhere we go, and then they're like, oh, that's Chaos. And then
people know your dog.
Yeah. Whenever we go to Starbucks, we go there for the pup cup so that she can get like the whipped cream thing. And every time we roll up, they're like, oh, it's Chaos. And then
you need,
awesome.
Did I mention you need a kid?
I did. Yeah, sure. Maybe one of these days.
This guy's saying that where's the Wall Street? I'm looking right now, Chase Bryan. Oh, it's interesting. I can't get even the YouTube channel to refresh right now.
Let's see. It's still on there.
It is okay.
Yeah.
So it's still on there. Maybe hit set reminder. Yeah. Hit the smash button. Subscribe the like and smash and subscribe and like and smash.
Turn on your notifications. It'll show up every time.
You're only strong when there's money. Now it's just paper. I'd like to see what you get asked fuck for now. You're only strong when there's money now. It's just paper. I'd like to see what you get asked fuck for now. You mean because I said I would grab my ankles to have that person on the show? I don't get any money from that. That would be a freebie. I'm not even sure what that person's asking, but here we go.
He's getting okay. That guy, I don't know what that guy's doing, but he's on some shit now.
Sevon, I got my first order of heart and soil, beef organs, and lifeblood. Do you really take 6 each at a time? I usually sleep 8 or 9 hours. Last 3 days, barely 6 hours. Biggest change, less fog. I do. So you know what I do, Ken, too, is I will sometimes I'll even take 12 in a day. But basically, depending on how I feel, if I'm going to drink like a huge pint of water, I'll take 3 and 3 and just take all 6. Or sometimes I'll just take all 6 at once. But when you're starting, the first few times I did that, I did not feel good after I took it. Not like for a long time, but like for 10 or 15 minutes, I was like, whoa. Like I was on a boat that I didn't want to be on. So pace yourself. Yeah. It's unreal. My clarity is 200% better and lots of energy, but not like you're on caffeine or pre-work or endorphins. Yeah, I know it's nuts. I don't know what your diet was like before, but my diet was really strict when I started the Heart and Soil and the ancestral supplements. And like I noticed shit difference within hours. That's what's crazy. Hours. So it's weird. And even when I said that to Paul, I said that to Paul Saladino or to someone, and I think they said it made them, or I got the impression it made them uncomfortable when I said that. And but it was the truth. Like, what am I going to do? Like it was too much of a compliment. What's that cost for 1 month? I think a bottle of it's like $50. The shit ain't cheap. Yeah, $40 to $80. Yeah, it's not cheap. They gave me so many bottles. This last time I asked them if I could have bottles to put in the back there. And I actually said, hey, you can just send me empty bottles. And they said, no, we'll send you full bottles. So they sent me 2, 4, 6, 8 bottles. So I unsubscribed on it on Amazon, or I delayed it for like a year. And I took so this is how I do it. I took all those pills out and I mixed them into a fucking giant glass jar and shook it up and mixed it around.
Are you going to do a contest to see if anybody can guess how many are in the jar?
No, but do you remember when dude, I haven't seen that in years. I used to see shit like that all the time.
It's always in the public library. They would always have like marbles or some shit. And then they would you can write it in and then you can get like free books for a month or some shit.
Yeah. Who counts that rentals. Shit? Who counts that shit and how many times do they count
it? Probably one of the librarians.
Yeah. So I have liver, trachea, minerals, tallow, bone marrow, grass-fed organs, and lung, and I just mix them all together, and who knows what I'm getting.
Do you have a pill pocket or like a pill divider?
No.
Sunday through Saturday.
But you know what's funny is my mom has one of those, and I used to make fun of her for that, and now I'm 49. I'm like, oh shit. I see one in my like next 20 years. Sevon, it's not a 60s cocktail party. It is. And I like the use of cock and tail juxtaposed. Oh no, I just saw that text message again from that girl. Let me Oh yeah. Good. Nice job, Will. Will's handling
He's
our
like he's good, man.
Will's handling our disgruntled. Someone it's not my place to say, but someone texted the Real Podcast Instagram and was basically trying to figure out. We said something about this guy this morning, and he's trying to figure out where those stories are coming from. So he's texted the Real Podcast. He's not upset. He's not upset. He's not upset.
I think he just
He's not upset. The people who listen to the Joe Rogan juxtaposition of expletives are upset. Yeah, he's not upset. What a great. You know what's funny is, do you know what he's referencing? Do you know what we're talking about? Oh yeah, you're on the text thread. So basically, this morning when I asked Angelo that, I asked him it as a joke. Okay, fuck it. I'll tell you guys. This is silly what I'm doing. This morning I asked Angelo DeChico 4 questions that I thought were just completely absurd rumors. And one of them I asked him was, is Fikowski coming to Mayhem? And he said, yeah, I've heard something like that too. That's a partial truth. I was like, oh shit. And so we left it at that. And I don't even know if Angelo is joking. I don't know if he's joking. Did you think he was joking?
I don't know. He's very good at being deadpan. I could have believed it one way or the other.
It was like, Hobart, are you gay? He's like, mm-hmm. You're like, what'd you say? He's like, mm-mm. What'd you say? Mm-hmm. What? You never know. Now you're just like stuck. Afterwards, me and Will and Caleb and Matt Suzer are like, so is he gay or isn't he gay? Well, he said, mm-hmm.
I think we did say something about it previously, and then he made a post about his training, like who coaches him basically. And I've never heard of him, and I've never seen him post about where his coach is from. And so, I mean, that was news to me. I mean, he could have been training for Mayhem for all I know, but.
I do not train at Mayhem, but I have a Rich Froning doll that I steep in a hot glass of water every morning and then pull it out and drink. The Froning tea doll tea. The Froning tea.
The essence of Froning.
Yeah. Yes. I'm glad you asked, Wyatt. How's Paper Street Coffee? It's all I'm drinking these days. I'm a little concerned Bridges hasn't been on since you told us about that stuff. Might need to start pimping good dudes again. Do you know what? Basically, so I had the podcast with him and Matt. Matt pulled out for no nefarious reasons. No, nothing crazy. Like, I know people in the comments love saying, of course they pulled out, you're a fucking piece of shit. But I've seen it like 3 times in the comments. We should go over to the YouTube comments. They're kind of funny. But and then Josh and I were going to keep doing the show. We didn't do it for like 3 months because like we just couldn't get a response from Matt. And then finally Matt's too busy. And I think maybe Matt could even come back one day. I don't fucking know. I don't think Matt hates me.
Maybe O'Keefe will put in a good word for us.
What?
So maybe O'Keefe will put in a good word for us.
Yes. And so then Josh and I were like, okay, let's just fucking do it. And I wanted to have guests and Josh didn't. And I was like, but Josh, we could leverage all those followers and all your popularity to get amazing guests. He's like, okay, we'll occasionally do guests. And thanks for using me. I said, no problem. Everyone should be used. Everyone should want to be used, by the way. If you're not being used, you're fucking dork. Get used. Oh, that's a great shirt. Get used. Anyway, so that's kind of like what you were talking about before. There's people who that's what you were talking about before, Caleb.
Yeah.
About
being in the right, being in something that you enjoy doing.
Yeah. No. You were. It was early on in the conversation. You think being used is a negative connotation. It's a great thing.
Oh.
But you explained it differently in a more friendly way. What were you saying? It was about. It'll come back to me. But getting used is what you all want. You want to get used. Nah, not necessarily abused, but you want to be used. You want to find people who can use you. It adds value to your life. You were talking about someone who does. You were talking about Will. He likes to do stuff for people, not because he necessarily wants to do it, but because he sees it helps them or gives them enjoyment. Yes. Right. Yeah, fuck yeah, get used, motherfucker, get used.
I mean, that's exactly right. I mean,
you can have boundaries and get used. Go out and I love it when my kid wants to use me to play fucking Frisbee. I love it. Use the shit out of me.
It's like I'll throw the frisbee all day long.
Yeah, I love it when my wife likes to use me. Use me. I don't think. Oh, we're an hour and 34 in. I'm not going to open this topic, but I was going to talk about. I was talking about waking people up for sex. Like, I think it's perfectly okay to wake someone up for sex, but like your mate should never be like, unless they like have to leave for a flight like at 4 a.m. and you're trying to stick it in them at 2. But like, if it's just a regular day and they're asleep at 11 and they're on their stomach, like, then just don't wake up then. If it bothers you. Like you married me. So lucky you have the greatest wife in the world. Black History Month, Family Guy, or I know whatever we were talking about, I forgot. But let's go to Family Guy. We'll finish with this. The Family Guy. I should put that in my notes about people who are too tired to have sex. Like, then just lay there, be cool. I've never, before you hit play on this, there's tons of times I didn't want to have sex, and not one of them afterwards was like, yeah, that was lame. I was like, oh, I'm glad I did that. Every time.
It's like a workout.
Yes. It's exactly like it's not like a workout. It's like a workout. I know exactly what you mean. You're never like worked out and be like, that was dumb.
God,
like,
I hate that.
Fuck, I'm glad I did that. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Okay, let's I like this.
Look, you can go to Oral Roberts.
Oh, and there's Anal Roberts. Boy, that is a tough place to get into, Lois. That is tough. But once you're in there, you'll be surprised how much you like it.
Oh, look, you can go to Oral Roberts.
Oh, and there's Anal Roberts. Boy, that is a tough place to get into, Lois.
Oh, my goodness.
Once you're in there, you'll be surprised how much you like it.
I'm so
You can go to
I'm so juvenile.
Too good.
Sevon, who's the most fake, annoying person in the CrossFit space? I cannot. I shall not. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Appreciate
really baiting you into a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I appreciate the alley-oop. I did not want to tell you. No, by the way, when you read that, no one pops in my head. I'm not like, it's Dave Castro. I'm not like it's not like on the tip of my, it's Caleb Beaver. I'm not like, oh, I'm so glad you had it. I don't even have to like, Andy Stump, like whatever beef I have with him, I cannot say anything that there's anything fake about the guy. So there's that. You know what I mean? Like, no one pops in my head. Like even if I wanted to, like, there's people I like can't stand and they don't pop up in my, not that I can't stand Andy, but I just use him as an example because we were talking about before. But like, I would never say he's fake.
I mean, would you consider that like basically?
Because I don't like someone doesn't make them fake. What? Say that again.
Would you think that most people have to put on some sort of facade?
And here's another thing. I like Andy. I just don't like him. That's another thing. If he wasn't I'm on the Raiders, he's on the 49ers. If he's on the Raiders, I'd like him. Like, I like him. I just don't like him. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Say that again, Caleb.
Would you consider that most people have to put up a facade anyway in daily life? Or just like at work or around people, or do you think that most people are pretty honest about who they are and how they more in how they express themselves instead of like?
Here's the thing that I trip on. Every time that I'm fake, I don't know I'm being fake until later I'm realized, oh, that was fake. I'm not like fake in the moment. There's just, as I get older, layers of me fall off. Like I know that being offended, anytime anyone's offended, it's fake. It's so fucking fake. That is not what you are. You're holding on to this piece of fakeness that you're not willing to let go of. And so you're letting the big nose comment come in, hit that fakeness of your identity that you've created. That's what I think of as fake. Do you know what I mean? Okay. And then, so like when I don't want to be offended by someone saying I have a big nose. I just think that I'm fake and that's who I think I am. And then finally one day I let that thing, I think it was like a pinball machine, and the ball, the you have a big nose comes in, it hits this wooden dowel in my head. And then one day I realized I don't have to have that wooden dowel in there, and I take it and I throw it away. I don't have to, like, and it can go, that was fake. I'll build my own. anything. It could be something you're confident about. It could be something you're insecure about. They're all equivalent to each other. Anything that you have in there that you believe and you identify with is fake. That's why like the gender thing makes no sense to me. It's so sad to me when people use that word wrong too. How would I know what gender I am? I would never spend the time to build a gender in there. I know I'm a man because I have a cock.
Do you think it's because they just have too much time on their hands then?
I was showering today. Or they just don't realize it's fake, that it's not necessary. This is more important, kid. I was showering today and my son's taking a shit in the toilet and I don't have a shower door or was for the show. A shower door and a or like a curtain or anything, and I'm showering and he's watching me and I'm soaping up my cock and balls and he goes, "Your balls are bigger than your cock." I was like, the fuck? I just looked at him. I go, the fuck. And I was just thinking of all the jokes of like guys in college who are like, "I'm more potatoes than I am meat." And I'm like, fuck, that sucks. Like, you don't want a penis. It's like, you know what I mean? The balls are here and your penis is like hanging up above them. I'm like, the fuck they are. And I quickly like rinse off all the fucking soap off my cock and balls. He's like, "Oh, okay. Your balls are just wider." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Your penis is a lot longer." I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, I was offended. That's fake. I was offended because I think I'm my cock. See? I was offended. That's a perfect fucking example.
That's a good example. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, that is the best thing about getting older. The cock starts getting like heavy and really dangling. Like there's no way the balls will ever go. I mean, maybe the balls
you just
will
sit on it occasionally.
I haven't sat on my penis. That were my balls. That would suck. But I've had the cock touch the top of the water bowl a few times. That's fucking horrible. That's a horrible. That's an occasional occurrence. Yeah. Okay, now we're getting to desperation territory. Hour and 41 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna finish with the story that I should have started with. I'm gonna tell you a story and then we're done. I'm gonna tell you a story about my kids. We started with about racism. We'll end with racism, or just we transcended racism. We talked about something deeper than it. But here it is. I'm in my car the other day, and my two boys are in the backpack. I'm driving my minivan, my Sienna, and I hear one of my boys I hear Joseph say to Ari, "I'm pretty," and Ari says, "I'm handsome," and Joseph says, "I'm going to get married," and Ari goes, "I'm going to get married too, not to a white girl," and I'm like, "Oh fuck, this should be fun. I can't wait to hear this." And I look in the rearview mirror. He goes, "They're too hard to draw," and Joseph goes, "Yeah, I hate the white crayon," and I'm thinking to myself, I fucking hate the white crayon too. Because there's not like, if you don't have colored paper, you can't use it worth a shit. And I'm like, so this motherfucker is going to choose his chick. They're going to choose their chick on who's the easiest to draw. And then I'm thinking, and you want me to talk to them about BLM and race? If these motherfuckers are going to pick their chick on who's easiest to draw with the crayon, I'm game. That's good. That's 5 years old, people. Tell my kids. I haven't talking to my kids about skin color. They already figured that shit out. Bang bitches that are easier to draw. Cobra Rhodes. Thank you, baby. Cobra, I should have you on the show. It would be wild. I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared. He's a professional arm wrestler, actor. He's a Renaissance man. He's an old friend. Nice. He's more than an arm wrestler. He's a legend. Maybe you could Google his name. You'll see some crazy pictures. He is a funky, brilliant. We're like brothers from another mother. He is so yeah. I'm so attracted to him too. Like whenever I see him, like I just want to hang out to him. I gravitate towards him. Yeah, he's cool. Oh yeah, look, there he is with some UFC fighters. Look at him with that dude. That's the dude. That's Cobra and what's that guy's name? Gilashvili. Oh yeah, Levon. Yeah, go back to that picture though. I want to compare fucking. So Cobra is a thin man. He's a ripped, shredded man. Though he's like those giant arms on Cobra are his body is those are giant arms for his body. He's a lean, mean machine. That guy right there is huge.
He's a tank.
Yeah, that is nuts. Oh Cobra, did you pull him, Cobra? Man,
Dude, that's great. How is he not like a weightlifter or something?
I should be careful saying this because I don't really know him, but I've hear people, I guess I want to say affectionately call him the experiment. Oh, you've trained him. Shit, that makes sense. So that is something Cobra's notorious for. He is a sought after instructor for arm wrestling teams all around the world, and and there's nothing greater, no greater compliment as an arm wrestler than to be invited to the European block to train their guys, because those dudes are strong as shit. Sevan, you should try to get Brian Johnson. I am. I don't think he's done I don't think he's done any podcast. I am friends with Brian, and I've asked him to be on the podcast. I've also said to him that if he doesn't come on the podcast and he does someone else first, no hard feelings. Like, man, like if he can go on Rogan, go on Rogan. Don't fuck around with me. All right, guys. I love you to death. Cobra, thanks for jumping in. You the man. We will see you guys tomorrow morning with Jedediah Snelson. I'm really happy with this show. My intention was to stay calm, mellow, peace, love, and